What's up, you guys? Chris is So Pro here, coming at you with a deck profile of what I played at the Dallas-Fort Worth Regional this past weekend. A lot of you have probably already seen the deck profile, or the deck list up on the ARG Facebook page. I did end up going 9-0 and getting first place. Got this, $20 mat and this $10 deck box. But really, when it comes to regionals, I've just been trying for a long time to do well at them and, get that, just my self-credibility, just so that I know that I am good and I'm doing good. And, I mean, I did pretty good at this regional, and it's my second top 8 in 6 months, so, or 4 months, actually. But since there is a video going up right now that's going to go on the ARG page, I'll make this video quick. This is mostly so that I keep my uploads up and I keep my, or I test out my new wireless router to see how well it goes. But I'll just explain some things really quick. Mostly I'll be going into explaining the things that definitely don't get explained in the video, which is like one thing, but this will be pretty quick. Played triple Geargia armor, triple Geargia accelerator. It's the basic 13 card Geargia engine for my monsters. 3 arsenal, 3 MK2, and 1 Geargiana. I didn't feel like any hand traps were necessary in the main or the side. And for the main deck, just a regular 13. Monsters worked fine for me. I ran triple upstart. Even though Soul Charge was a thing at this regional, I figured that even though it was an easy card to pull, and it's just so new that I didn't really see it as a threat. And I only lost one time that I got Soul Charged, and that was just because he brought out a Leo. And yeah, but the 3 upstart Goblin, 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, 1 Mind Control for the mirror match and other level 4 matchups, or level 4 heavy matchups like Fire Fist and whatnot. I didn't even Mind Control a Geargia armor in my mirror match that I played on Saturday. The other Geargia player was main decking Thunder King. In Game 3, I Mind Controlled it, flip summoned my armor, and made a 101. He didn't have any special summon monsters, but I had seen from Game 1 that he was playing Mirror Force and no Dimensional Prisons, which I think battle traps are extremely terrible in this deck. It's just my personal opinion, and from testing, I've kind of backed up my opinion in my own case, but, the other Geargia deck that topped was also running 2 Mirror Forces. But the 101 actually ended up being a good play with that Mind Control into Thunder King. And 1 Book of Moon, because it's an extra trap, and it also doesn't get hurt by Decree. Then, of course, for traps, 3 Geargia gear. I played 19 traps, because I just felt it was extremely necessary, especially since Geargia is a grind deck and whatnot. Triple Fiendish Chain, triple Black Horn of Heaven. This card was winning me games literally all day. It was the greatest card I could have ever asked for in this deck. Double Call of the Haunted, double Wiretap over the double 7 tools. This card's just better in general. No matter what a card you play is going to make you lose a game every once in a while. And this one was making me lose them a lot less than 7 tools. Where 7 tools makes you lose 1,000, this just gives them back the trap. And I literally lost 1 game to my own Wiretap over the weekend, and that was just because I drew into multiple upstarts early in the game. I Wiretapped his Solemn Warning, and he drew back into it, and he just got it at a really clutch moment that he needed it. Then, I guess my tech, I didn't see a lot of other people playing this, so I just kind of felt like this was a self-explanatory card to play. But it's a board clear. It's a blowout card. It can either help you gain advantage or just completely blow your opponent out of the game. And this card won me multiple games today. And the quad, one-ofs, Warning, Bottomless, Torrential, and Compulse. I'll go into my side deck before I get to the extra deck. I played triple Swords of Concealing Light. I was really hoping to go up against Boojins because my side deck was mostly Boojin hate, but I didn't have to play any. That's just the benefit of going undefeated all day, is that you don't have to play decks like that. Yeah. Also, I was kind of scared of playing against Noble Knights. That's not why I chose to run this card, but throughout the tournament I started realizing that up until about round 6 or 7, there were 2 undefeated Boojin players at the top tables. Or undefeated Boojins, undefeated Noble Knight players. And this card, I had played against some at my locals, and they were just really scary. Even in the hands of players who weren't extremely experienced back in here in San Antonio, the deck was just kind of deadly, and it could just put up the Xyz monsters that couldn't be destroyed that easily. And it was extremely scary. So the Swords of Concealing Light would have really helped out, too, against that if I had had to play it. And finally, when I did get home, this weekend, and today I played on Dueling Network and finally got my Bujin matchup. I 2-0'd it, and he put in he either main decked the decrees and didn't see them game 1 or put them in game 2, and I saw this, and it was the easiest way to get around the exceeds in the Yamato. I played Triple Twister to also hit the decrees. I only sided them in once today since I didn't play any Bujins or decree decks, but that was against Harpies round 8, and I didn't get to see it because that was, like, no offense to the guy that I played, but that was probably one of my fastest 2-0s all day. He just didn't draw well, and it was his first time up at the top tables like that, and one of the judges came by when he was handing out match slips and was like, be sure these are right, because these are the most important rounds, and my opponent asked me what he meant by that, and I explained, like, oh, if you don't win the next 2, you won't top 8. You'll still probably get your invite since there's only 2 rounds left, and that just made him really nervous and whatnot. He was also really easy to read. He's got a few things to learn, no offense to him at all by me saying this, but he just still has some things to learn. Then I played One-Dimensional Fissure for the other spell, along with the macro and the Soul Drain against, of course, like dragons and whatnot, which I actually played 2 different dragon decks over the course of the regional. I also, against Bujins, I sided 2 Memory of an Adversary. I know I'm talking about siding spell-related answers to the deck because of Decree, but Memory and Adversary is just one of those cards that gets over Yamato without targeting it and without destroying it, and it also gives it to you so that you can exceed with it, which is just extremely powerful, and even with the Threaded Decree, you can't side out all your traps, and you can even side in more like this, and it just helps out. I played Double Debunk. This actually really, really helped me in my Dragon matchups, and it helped me in my Mermail matchup around 7. And then I played 2 Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare, mainly as a card to side against the Mirror Match, because it makes Geargia miss timing as opposed to Heraldry Record, and it also hits other options too, like Scrap Dragon, just any Synchro monster, any Xyz monster, or even like some of the special summoned monsters that are I can't really think of any right now. Like, I guess if they summon a bear off of a Firefist Dragon or something like that, if you have to go up against that. But this won me my round 3 match because I wasn't originally going to put them in against my Heretic Ruler matchup round 3. But when we went into game 3, it was extremely close to time being called, so I needed to side out my upstarts. I ended up putting this in and ended up winning me the game because I got him down to the point where his only play was to make an M7 to get over my armor. When he activated effect, I just flipped this up and it won me the game. And for the extra deck, rank 3s, I played Zenmains, Temtempo, Alucard. This card, my round 9 match against 3-Axis Firefist, this was the only card that put in damage game 1, and I won that duel. Giga Brilliant, I actually never brought this out, but I would still definitely play it. It's too good not to play. I just had no need for it. And Soul of Silver Mountain, I only brought this out once, but when I did, it was blowout, because he was under Soul Drain, and he had put a Pike on the board, and I just ran over it, and it brought back my armor, and the next turn I just OTK'd him. And then Acid Golem, which Acid Golem actually did put me for game one time, which was amazing because it's just so big and it gets over other little things. And for rank 4s, Dweller, Dagusto Emerald to make those Geargia gears live again, Exciton for staple reasons, Diamond Dyer, it ended up popping a Macrocosmos round 8 against my Harpy matchup that I talked about, and that ended up winning me that game. 101, like I said, it didn't just take my opponent's special summon monsters in my Geargia mirror match, it helped me beat over his mirror forces, torrentials, etc. The 3 Gigant, because why wouldn't you play Gigant at 3 in the stack? And Crazy Box, which ended up winning me my round 6 match against Mythic Rulers, because he put a skill drain up, and I put a soul drain up, and since he put the skill drain up, I put this on the board, and this was soul drain, just kept beating over him, and there was nothing he could do. And I know I'm close to 10 minutes already, but I'm just going to go into my matchups really quick. Round 1, I played a good friend of mine who was going to give me the win anyway, but we played it out, and we played it like an actual game to keep us going for the day. He just didn't want a round 1 win because he wanted to push himself through the day. But he was playing Machina Gadgets, and game 3, he bluffed me into negating a Cyber Dragon and then negating a Yellow Gadget effect so that he could Redox back the Cyber Dragon and make a 4,000 Chimera attack. But I ended up arcing it, and his only other trap card that he had with no cards in hand, like he only had the Chimera attack and 1 back row, and it was a what's that card called? Vanity's Emptiness. It was a Vanity's Emptiness, and when he flipped it, it got wiretapped. I took his Fortress Dragon with 101, and he top decked into the Emptiness, and I just OTK'd him next turn. In round 2, I ended up playing a weird Firefist matchup that was running Gorilla, but I sided in those memory of an adversaries against him, and I ended up just taking some of his monsters, exceeding with them, and eventually using those to go for game. Round 3, I played against I played against Heradic Rulers. I lost game 1 to a Soul Charge into Leo because I have literally almost nothing to get over Leo, and I couldn't draw into my Fiendish Chains, my Compulse, or my Needle Ceilings to get over it. But games 2 and 3 I came back, and like I said, game 3 that clutch Trap Tricks, Trap Hole Nightmare won me a game. Round 4, I played against a deck that the guy called My Favorite Cards, quote unquote, because he was running. It was mainly a 4-axis Fire Fist slash Chain Beat hybrid. You know, if you're not familiar with Chain Beat, it's the deck that runs stuff that just like benefits off of chaining to card effects. Like it runs the what's it called? Usually full out Chain Beat decks will run Evil Storm, Thunderbird, and Wind Up Rabbit. But since he was mixing it with the 4-axis Fire Fist, he wasn't running Wind Up Rabbits. Round 5, I ended up playing against the mirror match. And like I said, game 1 I lost because I wasn't expecting some of his cards. Like he was maining Thunder King, he was maining Maxi, and he was maining Battle Traps like Mirror Force. But once I figured out that he was running all that stuff, games 2 and 3 were just a breeze to get through. Round 6, I played against Mythic Rulers. It was a pretty fun match. I ended up 2-0ing him, but the main reason I was winning was because he was activating his Reckless Screeds very recklessly, no pun intended, and it just got him to the point where he lost all his resources and couldn't draw, and I just ended up winning. And then game 2, the skill drain thing. And then round 7, I ended up playing that guy's teammate running Mermails, and I ended up winning game 1 because I went first and I set double Black Horn of Heaven, and he tried to do the whole combo thing, and it just didn't work out for him. And then round 8, I played against Harpies. I already went into that. Then in round 9, I played against the 3-axis Fire Fist, and he just wasn't drawing really well, so I ended up getting that match. And game 2, he had the chance to go for game, but ended up not going into it anyway. And I accidentally sided Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare instead of Memory of an Adversary like I meant to, but the Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare ended up winning me the game, so I'm going to think about that card a lot more in matches that I didn't usually think about. And yeah, so I ended up going 9-0, coming in first, getting the mat and the deck box. And I'm not sure if I'm going to Nationals yet, but it's nice to know that I've top 8'd 2 regionals coming into this national season. And, you know, just personally knowing for myself that, you know, I'm doing something with this game. Like, you know, I know that ARG's doing, like, giving me a little bit of publicity and whatnot, and, like, my channel's gonna get shouted out in their video and whatnot. But, you know, what really matters to me completely is just knowing that I myself am progressing in this game. And I'm glad that, you know, all my friends and all my subscribers and all the people that are, you know, learning about me through ARG, I'm glad that, you know, y'all are coming along for the ride. It's great. It's a fun experience. But what really matters the most to me is just growing individually and getting to meet new friends. But, you know, opinions of me as a player by other people don't completely matter to me, just as long as I know that I'm doing good for myself. And, yeah, if you enjoyed the deck profile, rate, comment, subscribe. And, yeah. Peace out, guys.